My mom, whenever my sister and I would have a disagreement, because my mom is a huge boxing fan, she would tell us to put on the gloves. And we would, my sister followed me all the way outside and down the street and was like, who you talking to? And I was like, Adam!
So Tia Mowry is finally spilling the tea on why she's been keeping her distance from her twin sister Tamera. And it's not just some we grew apart situation. There's way more behind this quiet family tension than anyone expected. In a recent interview, Tia didn't hold back one bit, and she's finally letting the world in on what really went down between her and Tamera. But don't start feeling too sentimental just yet, because this isn't your average sibling drift. There's been drama simmering under the surface for years, and now it's finally bubbling up for everyone to see. Fans have been side-eyeing some of Tia's recent moves and think she's been throwing subtle shade at her sister for a while. Now let's dive right in. Tia's been deep into her self-growth era, especially after her very public split from actor Corey Hardrict. Since the breakup, she's made it clear that she's chasing peace, protecting her energy, and figuring out who she truly is outside of her marriage and Hollywood image. And yeah, even beyond being a twin, Tia's been all about putting herself first. And honestly, that's something a lot of people can respect.
Marriage was a success. I was able to create with Corey some beautiful...
But here's where things start getting real interesting. In her latest interview, Tia admitted that she's been feeling like she's outgrown certain relationships in her life. And yes, that includes her bond with Tamera. Now, some fans praised her for setting boundaries and focusing on her peace, but others weren't so convinced.
It seems like you and your sister have a special bond.
Yeah.
I mean, how similar and how different are you two?
We're very different.
Very different, huh?
One viewer even commented, Tia was dismissive and selfish toward her sister all the time on that reality show. She always wanted to distance herself, threw slick shade, spoke down to her, and even talked about Tamera's personal business. She's a narcissistic lady? Woo! That's some serious heat coming her way. It really makes you wonder if this tension's been bubbling under the surface for a long time. It's no secret that the twins' paths have gone in totally different directions. While Tia's been chasing self-discovery and independence, Tamera's embraced a more traditional, family-centered lifestyle. Tamera's been living that picture-perfect life with her husband, Adam Housley. They've got kids, a beautiful home, and she's super close to their mom. In fact, on the real, Tamera once said her mom is the person she looks up to most, and that she's raising her kids the same way she and Tia were raised, with love, discipline, and strong family values. To top it off, Tamera's in-laws own multiple wineries up in Northern California, and she's officially joined the family business. She's out there living that elegant vineyard life, sipping wine and enjoying the peace. One fan even said, Tamera is very close to their mother. On the real, she said her mom is her biggest role model. She raises her children the way her mom raised them. Tamera lives a very traditional life, and I think it's a good thing. Her in-laws own wineries in NorCal, and she's part of those family businesses now. They're just two totally different people. While Tamera's been all about family and stability, Tia's been focused on rediscovering herself and starting fresh. And honestly, that's where most of their distance seems to come from. When you're deep into your personal growth era, it's hard to keep every relationship balanced, even one as deep as a twin connection. Tia's divorce from Corey Hardrict really marked a turning point. After 14 years of marriage, she decided it was time to focus on her own happiness and peace. And at first, she seemed to be thriving, posting about self-love, glowing energy, and independence. But lately, some fans have started whispering that maybe all that online perfection isn't the full story.
She's been with me every step of the way, like through the ups and downs, the bad, the ugly, she know ins and outs, everything. You know, she knows it all. So it's like, I'd rather share that with somebody, you know, for the rest of my life than someone who don't know you. And then when everything, just say if everything was great, you don't know if it's genuine. You don't know. You don't know if it's real. You know, at least I know Tia got my back, you know, to the grave. So I know she's with me and she knows I'm with her. And that's just, you know, everything's not perfect. You know, marriage is work.
And marriage
is work.
I'm
not here.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm not gonna be here like, you know, everything is raw. You have to work hard, you know, to stay married, you know, and stay together.
In her interview, Tia opened up in a way that caught a lot of people off guard. She hinted that while she's truly happy focusing on herself, there's also been this deep sense of loneliness creeping in. She even admitted that she wishes she was closer to her sister Tamera, especially with everything she's been dealing with lately.
I always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, you know, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
That's a big confession. Tia's been juggling so much, from her divorce to rediscovering who she is, and realizing she can't lean on her twin for comfort must sting. After the split, she had to step into single mom life while figuring out her own identity. And even though she's been glowing online, you can tell there's a piece of her that misses that tight sister bond. One fan summed it up perfectly, saying, "Tia is lost. She's in a process of finding herself, but Tamera has already found herself." When you're on the path to self-discovery, people don't understand you because you're all over the place. And honestly, that sounds exactly like what's happening here. Tia's transforming, but that growth is creating distance from the people who've always been her foundation, especially Tamera. And while that might be part of her healing, it's also left her feeling isolated during one of the hardest chapters of her life.
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. I feel like women, we tend to focus on everybody else's happiness, making sure that everybody else is okay. Meaning, you know, our children, our friends, our, family. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth.
But here's the kicker. This distance between the sisters might not just be about personal growth anymore. There's been some shade flying around, and it's starting to look a lot deeper than people realize. There's been some shade, both subtle and not so subtle, flying between these sisters, and fans have definitely picked up on it. Remember when Tia and Tamera had their own reality show? Viewers haven't forgotten how Tia sometimes came off as dismissive, even a little condescending toward Tamera. People still bring up those moments where she dropped sly comments about their parenting differences or how each handled their career paths. And then there's the big issue. Tia sharing way too much about Tamera's personal life. Fans have pointed out that Tia's been a little too open about her sister's business, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Now, Tamera isn't the type to fire back publicly. She's always been more reserved and protective of her privacy, but it does make you wonder, how much could she really take before deciding to pull back for good? While Tia's out here focused on self-discovery and independence, maybe Tamera's been setting boundaries of her own. One of the most revealing things Tia said was how much she struggled with her identity as a twin. Growing up, she and Tamera were always labeled as the twins, never truly seen as individuals. It might have been cute when they were kids, but as adults, it clearly became a heavy thing for Tia to carry. And if you peek at their Instagram pages, the signs are right there. They're barely posting together anymore, and that's not by accident. Tamera's out there living her best life with her husband, Adam Housley, and their little ones, while Tia's been grinding solo, embracing her independence, chasing her peace, and leveling up in her own lane. And look, no disrespect to either of them, but it's clear Tia and Tamera are on two completely different wavelengths right now. Tia's been on this deep soul-searching journey, while Tamera seems perfectly content, grounded, peaceful, and secure in her life. But here's the question. Is Tia low-key hinting that her sister hasn't been matching her energy lately? That maybe, just maybe, Tamera's been a little distant too? Fans have had plenty to say about this whole situation, and the opinions are all over the place. Some people are still rooting for the sisters, convinced that deep down, their bond is too strong to break. One fan even wrote, "Tia and Tamera will fix their relationship. I'm a twin, and as many fights as we had, we always apologized. R.I.P. to my twin." That one hit everyone in the heart. It really showed how deep that twin connection runs, even through the rough patches. But not everyone's giving Tia a free pass. Some folks think she's handled things the wrong way, especially when it comes to her timing. One fan didn't hold back, saying, Tia literally announced her divorce the same day Tamera released her book. She's selfish. She could have waited but made it about herself. Woo, that's a bold accusation, and it definitely added more fuel to the fire surrounding their rumored tension. That moment should have been all about celebrating her sister's book, but instead, the timing of Tia's divorce announcement had people giving her some serious side-eye. It definitely rubbed fans the wrong way. Still, plenty of folks are standing behind Tia and cheering her on for focusing on her healing and happiness after everything she's been through. One fan even wrote, "She got divorced to find her happiness. Instead of crying about being alone, she needs to find her happiness. Learning to be alone was the best thing I did for myself after my divorce." And honestly, that's real talk. Learning to be alone can be one of the hardest things to do, but when you finally get it right, it's powerful. So at this point, the internet's split. Some fans are holding out hope for a reunion between the twins, others think Tia's been a little too wrapped up in herself lately, and a few totally understand why she's walking her own solo path. No matter where you stand, it's clear this twin drama's got everyone talking. Now I gotta ask, do you think Tia's just focused on her personal growth, or is there something deeper behind this distance between her and Tamera? Is there still hope for these two to find their way back, or is this chapter officially closed? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one.